Look what I dragged outside for some summer fun. It's the wibbly wobbly wooden wood lathe that some of you might remember from a previous video. Today I'm going to make a hooped mallet for my brother's birthday, and I'm going to make it out of this piece of beech that came from a tree that my brother cut down. This sorry looking hammer here is my first ever lathe project, and I'm hoping my second hammer will turn out a little nicer. This has been laying in a bucket full of wet chips. I think this might be black mold here. I turned this hammer out of wet oak. It sure didn't dry up nicely. First I will true up this log, and then I will drill a hole through here for the handle. This has been drying for 5 or 6 months in a bucket full of chips. There is a pith in here, but so far it hasn't split anywhere. The whole bloody lathe shakes. This spur drive isn't holding the work. I will saw off the end and try again. Hopefully the teeth will have more grip now. For now it looks better. Yeah, that looks good enough. Let's drill a hole. I think there's quite a bit water left in this log. Those chips are pretty hot. Again at the end of the quill. I will leave it like this because I will turn down DOD anyway, so that'll open up the hole. Let's turn it down. Yeah, it's open. The sun has turned a bit and it's starting to burn my neck. I found a bit of stainless steel tube at the local scrapyard, and this is what I'm going to use for the hoops. Well, that sucked. I didn't want to clamp it down too much because the tube might get oval shaped. Yeah, hot and sharp. So now I'm going to clean it up on the lathe. These stainless steel rings are pretty hard to machine. The jaws are pressing them out of round, so it's hard to do any chamfering. The rings also fit into these recesses in the jaws, which makes setting them up flush difficult. And because they are pushed out of round, it's also hard to machine a taper on the inside. Well, it just broke loose. I know I should use the compound, but I'm too lazy to change the tool. Well, that's good enough for me. I got the hoops made. They are not as nice as I would have liked them to be, but they will do. I couldn't chamfer them on the lathe because they were pushed out of round, so I had to do that on a grindstone. I did manage to get a taper in there, so hopefully they will push onto the wood pretty easy. So now I'm going to turn down both sides of the hammerhead and occasionally test fit, and hopefully I won't overshoot my mark. The wind is picking up and the sun is starting to really burn. It's already starting to fit inside the taper. I will finish this mallet with linseed oil, so I will also use linseed oil as a lubricant. This is clearly not going to work. I really want it tight on there, because I don't want to use any screws. Here we go again. And that's a win. Well, I finally got it on there, and it took a lot of force. I even damaged the hoop at some places, even though I used a copper drift. Now I'm going to turn this hammerhead barrel shaped, and this side I will turn a bit convex for hitting surfaces bigger than the hammerhead, and this side I will make flat for hitting surfaces smaller than the hammerhead. But first I'll take a break, because it must be getting, well, over 30 degrees here, and that's not something I'm really used to. Some clouds moved in front of the sun, so I'll continue. I'll use some sandpaper to finish the rest of the shape. Whoa! Well, we already got nice weather. And God damn it! More nice weather. I'll be right back. After sneezing till my back hurt, I'm now wearing a dust cover, which isn't fun with this heat. Almost there. So that's the head more or less done. Now I gotta make a handle. I was planning to use this piece of oak that also came from a tree killed by my brother, but it's just too short. So I digged around and I found this. I have no idea what it is or where it came from, but it is plenty long, so it will do nicely. It's a good thing the camera doesn't record smells. I used the angle grinder to make a wedge out of a piece of hardwood, and I used some linseed for lubrication to drive it in there. You can see it's already starting to split. I guess that's what you get after a hot day. The first cracks are already appearing. There's the pith. They're very tiny. Hair fracture. Those marks here, they are from the angle grinder. I got carried away with the angle grinder. I will put some of this wood rod repair on both ends. Hopefully that will seal it off and prevent further moisture loss. This is basically glue. A bit of raw linseed oil and I'm done. Well, that's it, I'm done. Here's the finished article. Now there are some flaws. I should have made the handle a little bit longer. And the hole through the head here is at a slight angle. And there are numerous little cosmetic issues, but I won't go into those. If I was still in school, I would give myself a 7. And of course, now we got to test it. Works like a hammer. I certainly made a bit of progress compared to my previous hammer. Oh, what a sorry looking thing this is. The wibbly wobbly wood lathe. Damn. Worked better than expected.